Perhaps, you will never truly die. You might even live as long as the universe itself. This is not quantum mechanics, nor is it metaphysics. This is hard science. Because every single atom within your body possesses a life that is nearly eternal, it is entirely possible that your right hand contains the very atoms that once built a Tyrannosaurus rex. In fact, 60% of the atoms in your body are as old as the universe itself, and what we call death is more like an intermission in an atomic party. So, here comes the real question. Where do the atoms go after we die? If these atoms that constitute you are eternal and indestructible, then who, exactly, are you? Steady your hands. Before we subvert your entire understanding of life and death, we must first understand why atoms never die. Don't they wear down like tables and chairs? Can't they be broken? The answer is, in daily life, it is almost impossible. Let's put it this way, scientists declare that atoms are practically immortal. First, let us speak of their toughness. For the vast majority of atoms in your body, the core, the nucleus, is composed of protons and neutrons, bound together with staggering strength. Their durability is almost outrageous. Unless you are cast into the heart of the sun, or forced to endure the extreme cosmic fury of a supernova explosion, nothing we experience in our daily lives, eating, drinking, staying up late, or even cutting a finger, can truly destroy an atomic nucleus. When a living being dies, what occurs is not the destruction of atoms, but merely the breaking and rearranging of chemical bonds between them. This might sound a bit abstract. Let me give you an example. Imagine a small figure built of Lego bricks. If you smash it with your palm, the Lego man is dead. But are the bricks that formed him shattered? No, they lie scattered on the floor, perfectly intact. You can then take those same bricks and rebuild them into a small toy car. Atoms are the most fundamental, most indestructible Lego bricks of the universe. Your body is merely a temporary structure built from these bricks. Now, a bright student surely has their hand up, asking a second, deeper question. What about atomic decay? Many radioactive elements, like carbon-14 used in archaeological dating, aren't they constantly dying? An excellent question. But that is more like a transformation than the disappearance we imagine. Take a carbon-14 atom as an example. Its nucleus is somewhat unstable. After a certain amount of time, it releases an electron and an antineutrino. Within the nucleus, a neutron transforms into a proton. With that single shift, it is no longer a carbon atom. It assumes a new identity. Nitrogen-14. You see, the identity of the original carbon atom is indeed gone. But its material foundation, the protons and neutrons that built it, have not vanished. It has simply traded its ticket from a party called carbon to attend another party called nitrogen. From the scale of the entire universe, the total sum of matter and energy remains almost entirely unchanged. Therefore, the scientific consensus today is the stable atoms that make up you, me, and everything, since they were forged in the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago, and in the stellar furnaces that followed, exist almost eternally. They are the ultimate travelers, the most persistent backpackers in the cosmos. They are merely borrowed briefly, at different times by different things, a star, a stone, a flower, a dinosaur, or a human being, before continuing on to their next journey. Now that the bedrock of science is laid, an even more shocking question arises. Since these atoms are such immortal old souls, where exactly did they come from? Before they met you, what kind of magnificent, sweeping epic did they endure? Prepare yourself, this next part might completely overturn your perception of who am I? And where do I come from? Let's answer this first. The oldest atoms in your body. Exactly how old are they? The answer is 13.8 billion years. Nearly as old as the universe itself. The most abundant element in your body is hydrogen. And for the vast majority of these hydrogen atoms, their nuclei, which are simply single protons, were created within the first few minutes after the Big Bang, 13.8 billion years ago. They are the true elders of the universe, the first citizens of time itself. As for the heavier atoms that constitute your flesh and bone, the calcium in your skeleton, the phosphorus in your DNA, the iron in your blood, they were born at the end of a massive star's life. In a brilliant supernova explosion. Deep within that star, immense temperature and pressure acted like a divine forge, fusing light elements into heavy ones. When it finally detonated, it scattered these freshly forged cosmic building materials into the vastness of space. These shards of stars drifted through the cosmos for eons, eventually coalescing into new nebulae, forming our solar system, shaping the Earth, and finally, becoming you. So, you see, the atoms in your left hand and your right hand might come from two entirely different stars, separated by light years. You aren't just looking at your phone, you are using the star remnants of different galaxies to scroll through short videos. You are using your body to hold a cross-temporal memorial for long dead, distant suns. We are all made of stardust. That is not science fiction, that is science. Now, let's bring our gaze back to Earth. The second question. Did I really share atoms with a T-Rex? The answer is almost 1100% certain. Earth, in terms of matter, is a nearly closed circulatory system. Aside from the occasional meteorite, or gases escaping into space, the total number of atoms on Earth has remained constant for billions of years. They are constantly recycled. Within this giant blue marble, imagine the process. 65 million years ago, a T-Rex died. Its body was decomposed by microbes. The atoms of carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and phosphorus returned to the soil, the air, and the water. Then, a plant absorbed those atoms from the soil for photosynthesis. An herbivorous dinosaur ate that plant. And then, another T-Rex ate that herbivore. This set of atoms has been on a never-ending odyssey through Earth's biosphere. Scientists have made a fascinating estimate. Due to the sheer number of atoms and the thoroughness of the cycle, with every breath you take now, you almost certainly inhale at least one atom, once exhaled by Julius Caesar, or indeed, any famous historical figure. Every glass of water you drink today almost certainly contains water molecules that once circulated through a dinosaur's kidney. So, there is a dead T-Rex living inside you. Is not a metaphor. It is an objective scientific fact. Likewise, the atoms from Confucius, Newton, and Einstein have not vanished. Instead, they are evenly distributed in every corner of this world. Perhaps, in the bowl of rice you ate for lunch, or in the cloud drifting past your window. Imagine, all of us are sharing the same set of ancient atoms. We are, quite literally, interstellar recycling bins. And here, a deeper, more ultimate, even slightly haunting question surfaces. If every part that makes me up is public property borrowed from the universe and from history, if they do not belong to me and will eventually leave me, then, what is this consciousness that feels like a unique me? Now, we arrive at the most chilling, yet most enchanting part of this exploration. We must step from solid physics into a misty philosophical swamp. The question is, if atoms are eternal, then what are you and I? Let's answer from a purely material perspective first. The first inquiry: am I just a collection of these atoms? From a strict physical and chemical standpoint, the answer is yes. Everything about you, your body, your emotions, your memories, the love for your family, the craving for good food, in essence, is the result of electrochemical reactions between tens of billions of neurons in your brain at the atomic and molecular level. If you aren't a pile of atoms, what are you? But this leads immediately to the second, and much more difficult, question. Then why do I feel continuous? Unique? Why did this specific pile of atoms generate my consciousness, and not another? This is one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of modern science, known as the hard problem of consciousness. Currently, the explanation most favored by the scientific mainstream is called emergence. This theory suggests that consciousness is a brand new property that emerges from the incredibly complex system of the brain, much like wetness emerges from countless H2O molecules. Think about it carefully. Is a single H2O molecule wet by itself? No, it does not possess the property of wetness. However, when trillions of water molecules gather and interact according to specific physical laws, wetness, this brand new, higher-level macroscopic property, miraculously emerges. Similarly, a single carbon atom, hydrogen atom, or oxygen atom, can they think? Do they feel joy or sorrow? No. But when approximately 10 to the 27th power of such atoms are constructed into a human brain in an exquisitely precise way, self-awareness, the most mysterious phenomenon in the universe, likely emerges from it. But we must be honest. This is still a hypothesis. We know the materials used to build the stage of life, our bodies. We know the actors on the stage, those ancient atoms. We have even partially cracked the script, our DNA. But we still do not fully understand how the solo play called consciousness is actually directed. This is perhaps the final frontier, where science and philosophy meet. So here, we can offer a conclusion that is poetic, yet respects the awe of science. Perhaps we are not the atoms themselves. We are the fleeting, wondrous, and unique arrangement formed between those atoms during those few short decades. We are the moment of perfect symphony, accidentally stirred up by cosmic matter in its 13.8 billion year drift. Atoms are the instruments, and we are the unique melody. The instruments are eternal, but the melody is played only once. So let us return to the original question. Now we can understand. Death truly may not be the end of life, but merely a grand and solemn atomic recycling ceremony. You borrowed these glittering shards of stars from the universe. For a few decades, they were intricately organized, granting you life, enabling you to think, to love. When you have completed this brief and brilliant journey, the horn for a new voyage sounds. These atoms will peacefully leave you, returning to the grand cosmic cycle. They will go on to form a flower, to flow as a river, to constitute a silent stone, or billions of years later, become the starlight twinkling in the eyes of another newborn life. The everything that makes you will exist forever. But that unique movement played by them, the one called you, will conclude. So we need not feel sadness for our eventual disappearance. Quite the opposite. We should celebrate the brevity and uniqueness of the self. Because it is precisely this brevity that gives existence its incomparable value. Every laugh, because our lives are not eternal. Every moment of being moved, every hug with a loved one, becomes so precious. We can use this body, composed of ancient atoms, to feel, to think, to create, to love, to fully experience this unique, once-in-a-lifetime journey, carried by eternal atoms. Please cherish your now. Cherish every heartbeat and every breath. Because when you look at the stars, you are not looking up at the universe, you are staring at your home. You yourself are a thinking miracle of the stars, walking upon the earth,